Hey, it's Dustin from stayatHomeDustin.com, and today we're going to talk about potty training. So, why can potty training be so difficult? Well, when you think about it, kids have a pretty sweet deal with diapers. They don't have to stop eating or playing to go to the bathroom. Somebody else will just clean up their mess for them later. Why would you give that up? Toilets are also pretty intimidating to a kid. They're kind of strange machines. So, just imagine that you're out on a walk on a hiking trail or something, and you come across this machine where if you press a button, anything you put into it will just disappear forever. I wouldn't want to put my butt on that either. So that's kind of some insight into what kids are going through when they look at the toilet. So how do you know if your kids are ready for potty training? There's really two different aspects that you need to look at: the physical and the psychological. So normally kids around 2 to 3 start to be ready to start potty training in both of those senses. If they have an older brother and sister to show them, it might be even earlier. So they have to be physically developed enough that they can hold it and go on command, and they also have to be willing. They might be physically able to use the toilet, but they just refuse. Being defiant and refusing to use the toilet isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's part of the natural process that toddlers go through, becoming more independent. That's actually good, because if they feel more in control, they feel like they're like the owner of their own body. So that's a step in the right direction. So some signs that your child might be ready for potty training: if they can follow basic instructions. If they're not old enough to follow basic instructions, you're gonna have a hard time. If they're asking for their diaper to be changed, if they're hiding when they go to the bathroom, if they're like self-conscious about it, if they become interested in big kid underwear, if they're interested in other people using the toilet, or they're copying bathroom behavior, if they can take a nap and wake up dry, like they're able to hold their bladder for a couple hours, that's a good sign too. And if they go on a regular schedule, or they tell you that they're about to go in their diaper when they're going, that's good too. So when should you be concerned if your child isn't potty trained? Normally, if your kid reaches like their 4th birthday and they aren't able to go yet, that's time to maybe take them to the doctor and look into something else. But actually, the age for potty training is going up. In the 1940s, most children were potty trained by about 18 months, but now it's more like 35 months on average. So some people think this is like a conspiracy by the diaper industry to keep kids in diapers as long as possible, or because of overly permissive parenting. But most likely it's just that parents aren't trying to pressure and force their kids to be potty trained by a specific age, because now we know that's not really constructive for anybody. Kids that are potty trained really early, like 15 months, they can actually end up with more complications later on, like constipation and bedwetting. And there's some myths that, like, if your kid potty trains later early, they might become slobs or something later in life. That's not really true either. One way that dads can really help with potty training is that we're normally more comfortable with bodily functions, or matter of fact, we don't have to use cutesy language, so we have less issues talking about poo and pee with our kids, and just for guys, it's less taboo talking about bathroom stuff to your kids. So yeah, if you're potty training your kids, you're going to get frustrated at some point. How can you stop being frustrated? It's going to happen naturally, but just remember that it's like a process. It's not like a one-day thing. It's not a competition or a race. So remember, you're dealing with a tiny person whose brain is still developing, and if they have a bit of a setback, don't get too hung up on it. As long as you're making progress in the right direction, that's easier. That's helpful. So yeah. What if your kid will pee on the potty but they won't poop yet? So this is actually a big thing around the age that kids are toddlers. It's really common for them to start getting constipated. So it's a good idea to ask your kids if their poops hurt. That might be why they're not willing to go on the toilet. There's certain things that you can do, like changing their nutrition, what they're eating and drinking. So that might be in limiting stuff like cheese, milk, grains, and other foods that can cause constipation. But if you're concerned about that, I definitely talk to your pediatrician or your kid's doctor. What about bed wetting? So even if your kid's potty trained, they can still wet the bed at night long after that. Kids around age 3, about 20% of them wet the bed, and by age 7, even 10% are still wetting the bed. So your kid's body needs to start producing something called ADH. It's antidiuretic hormone. They need that for their body to slow down the production of urine at night. So there's no way to really speed that along. You just kind of gotta wait until their body develops, and it'll happen when it happens. So what do you need to start getting potty trained? You're gonna need a timer. A kitchen timer is good, or your phone. Need some underwear. Let them pick out a pair with their favorite big kid underwear with some cartoon characters on it, so extra incentives wear it. You can give them different options. You can have like a standalone potty chair or a seat that goes over top of your main toilet in your house. And you probably want some little plastic step-up stairs so they can get on the toilet, because it's going to be tough to get up there. You want some rewards, probably some flushable wipes too, and you're going to need lots of patience. So big thing is to stay positive when you're potty training. Look for signs that they're ready, like I talked about before. Take them and kind of introduce them to the toilet. Just let them get an idea for how the whole thing works. Pick the right time. Don't do it when you're like on vacation, or if you're going through a divorce or something and there's a big upheaval in their life. It's best for kids if they have a regular routine and they're relaxed when you're trying to potty train them. I have some more information over on my blog. This is getting a bit long, so I'm going to cut it off. But if you go to stayatehomedustin.com/potty training, I give some other tips and tricks, some information if you're struggling to get your kid potty trained. Talk about if you should teach your son to pee standing up or sitting down, using public bathrooms and stuff like that. So go check that out if you want some more information, and give it a like if you found this helpful, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.